You know, I only make these rant videos about the current product when something's really getting to me. But I cannot get it out of my head how empty the build-up to WrestleMania 41 has felt so far, especially compared to the last couple of years. Back in Vince's day, we sometimes got WrestleManias where the build-up was lackluster, to say the least. But the show itself, it still ended up being really good. Triple H has had a really solid run of booking over the last couple of years. But I think he's really lost his grip on things this WrestleMania. I mean, look at the Punk, Reigns, and Rollins triple threat. I guarantee it will be at least a very good match. It'll probably be excellent. But man, the build-up has been bad. What's the story going into this? It's not for a title. It's not really about revenge. It's not even clear why these guys are wrestling at all. Punk wanted to main event WrestleMania, and that's fine. I'm a CM Punk fan, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the match. But it loses a lot without clear stakes or consequences. I mean, Seth Rollins is just there. He's been a third wheel in this feud from the moment he showed up. And Reigns? He's looked totally disinterested this entire time. The one thing that could have made this feel like a real main event was the Punk-Heyman-Reigns dynamic. That should be the tension here. Punk and Reigns were both Paul Heyman guys, and Heyman himself is right in the middle. To me, that's the obvious story to tell. But they haven't gone there. You had Heyman basically getting Punk into the main event as a favor. But that's not good enough storytelling, certainly not for WrestleMania. And this is going to be the Night 1 main event. Why? Because WWE's got no faith in this man, Jey Uso. Because apparently, winning the Royal Rumble doesn't mean anything anymore. Jey won the Rumble, and that should have been a huge moment. The kind of win that makes someone feel like a real main eventer. But it didn't, because from the second he won, WWE made it very clear he wasn't the priority. It used to be a big deal to win the Rumble. It meant you'd main event WrestleMania and fight for the biggest prize in the company. But this World Heavyweight Championship isn't fooling any of us. It's basically at the same level as the Intercontinental title. They might list it alongside the Universal and WWE Championships on the website. But we know it's not the same. The build to his match with Gunther has been lifeless. And the worst part? The story peaked a month ago. Since then, it's been nothing but filler. Let's be honest. The only thing keeping Jey afloat right now is that crowd response. He is undeniably over, or at least his entrance is. But I'm sorry to say, when the bell rings, he's a terrible wrestler. Even so, bad wrestlers can get over as main eventers. We've seen it many times before. But they've completely wasted Jey's Royal Rumble win. Now, let's talk about the booking for the women's matches. Because it's also been really bad. Let's start with the likely triple threat between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. This was being floated as a possible Night 1 main event a few months ago. Now, it barely feels like a top feud. The build-up has been all over the place. And the momentum's been long dead, in my opinion. Remember how great Rhea was booked last year? She was like an unstoppable force. But wow, what a difference a year makes. She's been looking incredibly weak, and her constant complaining isn't helping. And if we're talking about bad dialogue, Bianca's been given some of the worst lines in company history. And to be honest, it looks like she's out of her depth. She's been in higher pressure situations, so it can't be her. It has to be the writing. And Io Sky, the champion, has been pushed aside like she doesn't even belong in the match. I like Io a lot. But it would have been better for WrestleMania if Rhea had retained the title and just gone up against Belair instead. As far as Triple H is concerned, I'm sure it's just another checkbox. Yes, I've booked the Raw Women's Championship, now I can move on. Well, we're moving on to Charlotte versus Tiffany. And this one is an absolute disaster. Tiffany came in with a lot of potential. She held her own against Becky and showed she could be a player. But since Charlotte returned, it's all gone backwards. Tiffany looks like she's lost her confidence. Her promo delivery has completely fallen apart since they turned her babyface. You can tell she's far more comfortable playing a heel. And then they had Charlotte absolutely bury her on the mic. It was full John Cena versus Austin Theory treatment from a few years ago. This was supposed to be a star-making moment for Tiffany. But the way they've built it, it already feels like she's lost. If she wins the match, it'll feel unearned. And if she loses, it'll feel like she was never ready in the first place. And then there's Cody versus Cena. This should have been the easiest story to tell on the entire card. John Cena turns heel, sides with The Rock, and targets the face of the company. Simple. You shouldn't need to overthink that. But somehow WWE managed to botch the build-up. It's like they've been making it up as they go, rather than having an overarching plan. Cena cut 2 promos and said absolutely nothing. He started blaming the fans, even though they've been cheering him for years. And Cody's reaction didn't help either. Cena attacked him at the Elimination Chamber, and the next week, Cody comes out smiling. To make matters worse, The Rock has vanished. This guy's on the TKO board of directors, and last year we thought we'd never see the back of him. I'm not saying I want him around all the time, but he could have been a really interesting part of this feud. And I think we all expected him to have more to do with it. But credit where it's due. This week's Raw finally delivered something worth paying attention to. Cena finally explained himself. And it's the first time the feud has actually felt personal. Let me be clear. The issue with this WrestleMania isn't the talent. Almost all of the matches will deliver at WrestleMania 41. I even expect Jey Uso will be dragged to a decent match with Gunther. But man, the writing has been so lackluster. Everything about this road to WrestleMania feels either overthought or painfully safe. There's no sense of urgency behind any of it. Triple H has brought stability to WWE's booking over the last few years. But stability without direction, that's just coasting.